let's now have a look at the topic of innovation. Some question how innovation in the world of business process outsourcing is actually different and genuinely different from improvement. So some observers are keen to really know the difference between what is innovative within the world of BPO and how that differs from what is deemed as improved. So what is innovation to Genpact? How does it differ from improvement? And does it actually exist in finance? And also, innovation can be seen as a risky theme, a risky activity. With innovation, you don't know if the innovative activity is going to be successful or if it's going to fail. So there's a risk associated with it. My final question within this very long question is, how does Genpact respond to that level of risk?
Sure, and I think it's one of the most important questions facing our industry. So we look at innovation with two lenses. One is, what does it mean for the customer? And two is, what does it mean for us? What we believe innovation means for customer is finally producing a different business outcome and a substantially improved business outcome. We don't mean innovation in the customer context as necessarily the latest gadget or the most sexy technology. For us, what the customer cares about is that the business process outcome must change and change dramatically. If you can get that done in a relatively short period of time, create significant value, then the customer has applied innovation in how that customer runs that particular process. And I think it's very important to understand that, especially in areas like finance and accounting, as opposed to in some other areas which are more research development or which are more new product kind of areas. The way we look at innovation for us is that we must continuously strive to create solutions which incorporates the best practices, the best-in-breed technologies, the best utilization of analytics, so that we can apply them to drive that disproportionate value for the customer in their process business outcome. The way we approached it, therefore, is we created that whole global practice organization, sitting very closely with the operating organization, but a completely different set of people, different set of skill sets, different set of mindset, different focus area, whose job is to continuously look for how do you create those new, more effective, more impactful solutions. And how do you keep experimenting with everything that's out there in the world to make that happen? The only thing we wanted to ensure is that that doesn't become ivory tower exercise, but has to get tested out and implemented and executed every day in the marketplace. And you get the sense of success either because you win deals, because your solution is differentiated, or you drive actually those business outcomes, so the team gets measured on how much total business outcome and impact it has driven for customers, or you create satisfaction with customers in terms of how their processes are changing through our customer satisfaction service, which we call Net Promoter Score. So that really is the core thesis of it. I think one of the struggles which the industry obviously has is many of the contractual models don't support the application of innovation for solving customer problems and needs, therefore, that to be separately then done through a commercial model. And I think there are some disconnects which keep on happening in that. And I think as an industry, all participants, whether it's customers, whether it's the intermediaries, and whether it's providers like us, we need to keep on working to make sure that innovation has to deliver significant benefits, but obviously significant benefits cannot get delivered in a vacuum. And it's different from day-to-day execution, and therefore has to have a different commercial construct, commercial model, and incentive structure for all parties involved to make it happen.
So when you're talking about that, and to what degree are you sharing the risk with your client when it comes to the delivery of a service that includes quite a strong innovative component?
We actually significantly encourage models where there are contractual commitments on reaching certain end process goals, many of which could be outside direct execution responsibility of us through joint working. and use gain shares and pain shares and contingency-based payments and bonus and penalty structures to have alignment of interest and alignment of goals. So that's something in terms of risk sharing, in terms of having skin in the game, is something which we actively encourage. We obviously need to ensure that there is clear understanding and accountability from both sides as to what each party is bringing to the table in terms of driving those end outcomes. And therefore, the gain and pain share has to be in proportion to what that model is. It's also a reality in the market that, for example, if we are able to drive a $500 million working capital improvement for a customer, it's unlikely that the customer will really think about paying a big chunk of that, even if a large part of the work has been done by us. So we have to be cognizant and realistic about how you cap commercial structures and therefore also cap risks and rewards between the parties in terms of driving those end business outcomes.